You're about to discover something almost no one knows, and it can shift your reality faster than any traditional manifestation technique. It's not a long visualization, not some complex practice. It's just a 10-second scene that, when felt the right way, reprograms your inner field as if you'd already lived the future before it happens. Few people know this, and even fewer use it correctly. Maybe you've tried visualizing before and saw no results. Maybe you doubt yourself, or think your mind just doesn't work that way. The truth is, you didn't fail. The instructions you were given failed you. There's a hidden principle behind manifestation that's always been taught incompletely. But today, you're finally going to understand how it all fits together and why these 10 seconds can be the turning point of your life. If this resonates with you, take a deep breath and come with me. And before we continue, make sure to subscribe to Manifest Now, because here, every video is a portal to elevate your frequency, awaken your consciousness, and transform your reality from the inside out. The reality each person lives today didn't start on the outside. It was born silently, within the images the mind projected over and over, often without even noticing. Thoughts arise as quick scenes, almost invisible flashes that shape the emotional path of the day. And without intention, these little images keep repeating until they become patterns. External life, then, simply mirrors what the inner world has rehearsed so many times. Nothing changes out there without first changing in here. When someone thinks about difficulty, for example, the mind quickly creates an image of them facing barriers, failing, losing something. That image lasts seconds, but carries a deep emotional signature. Each repetition reinforces the belief, and the belief reinforces the experience. So the person ends up living inside the reflection of what they unintentionally imagined. The mind doesn't ask if it's useful, it simply responds to what gets repeated. The same happens with small fears, worries, and negative expectations. The moment the mind creates an image of something going wrong, the body reacts. Breathing changes, the chest tightens, energy drops. And it's this vibration that begins to sculpt the next steps. Without realizing it, the person walks right into what they imagined. It's as if every automatic thought is a brush and every emotion is the paint. And together, they paint the scene that appears ahead. Still, there's something deeply liberating in this discovery. If the mind creates images automatically, it can also learn to create images intentionally. If inner chaos builds an uncomfortable future, inner clarity can sculpt an entirely new path. The power isn't in the unconscious habit, but in the ability to wake up to it. Because the same mechanism that imprisons is what, when used consciously, liberates. Just one moment of clarity can change the course, and it's precisely in that moment of clarity that everything begins to transform. When someone understands that their reality isn't a coincidence but a consequence, something inside them awakens. The desire emerges to reclaim their own inner field, to direct the images, to command the story. But to do this with real power, you need to understand a second key, a key forgotten by many, but essential for any visualization to have effect. The mind is the architect of images, but it's emotion that brings them to life. A mental scene by itself is like a pencil drawing. It exists, but lacks depth, vibration, and magnetic force. But when emotion enters, the drawing gets colored, gains texture, movement, and energetic density. It's this union between what you see inside and what you feel inside that determines the reality approaching. An image without emotion is just a thought. An image with emotion is a clear vibrational request. Many people spend years visualizing without realizing they're doing it only at the mental level. They imagine the goal, but feel fear. They dream of abundance, but feel lack. They think about love, but feel doubt. This disconnection creates an inner knot. The desire goes in one direction, but the emotional energy goes in another. And the universe always responds to the loudest sound, which is almost always the dominant emotion, not the loose mental image. When mind and heart are misaligned, visualization becomes exhausting. The person sees the scene, but the body doesn't believe it. And the body is the gatekeeper of energetic access. It's what releases or blocks the field. When the body feels insecurity, visualization loses power. When the body feels certainty, visualization becomes magnetic. Emotion works like a gravitational field. It attracts what matches its vibration and repels what doesn't fit. That's why the key to manifesting isn't just seeing what you want, but feeling what you would feel if it had already happened. It's as if the heart is the engine that ignites creation. An emotionally true scene, even if just for a few seconds, is more powerful than minutes of neutral visualization. The body needs to believe for the field to respond, and that belief is created not with words, but with sensations. And when the mind creates the right image and emotion pulls with force, something few people know emerges, the sweet spot, where desire, sensation, and focus align and activate the quantum field intensely. But most people never get there because they make an almost universal mistake in the visualization process, a mistake that neutralizes the power of everything they try to create. Most people believe that the longer the visualization, the more powerful it will be. But what happens is exactly the opposite. When the mind tries to build an entire movie in imagination, it scatters, loses clarity, and weakens the emotion. Focus breaks into small disconnected parts, and energy dilutes like water slipping through fingers. A long visualization doesn't deepen the feeling, it confuses it. That's why so many people say they can't visualize properly. It's not lack of ability, but excess of complexity. The mind doesn't need infinite details. It needs a single strong image, simple, direct, and loaded with emotional truth. An overly elaborate scene requires mental effort, and effort creates tension, and tension cuts the natural flow of creation. The universe doesn't respond to effort, it responds to coherence. Another common mistake is trying to control every step of the visualization, as if writing a movie script. This only creates anxiety. The person tries to see everything, feel everything, imagine everything, and in the end, feels nothing. It's like trying to look at 1,000 stars at once. None of them shine bright enough to guide you. The mind needs a single point to ignite the emotional field, not an entire constellation. There are also those who visualize with the mind, but not with the body. They create beautiful scenes, but empty ones. They see the goal as spectators, not as protagonists. This emotional distance transforms visualization into fantasy, not into a vibrational command. The scene might be beautiful, but if it doesn't awaken sensation, it has no power to touch reality. The image needs to fit inside the person, not stay at a distance. When someone overcomes this mistake and discovers they don't need an entire movie, but just one short scene, everything changes. Visualization stops being a heavy task and becomes a direct portal to the creative field. It's at this point that the most powerful technique emerges. Simple, precise, and capable of reprogramming reality in just seconds. The 10-second single scene is the heart of conscious manifestation. It works because it concentrates all emotional energy into a single point, like a beam of light passing through a lens. Instead of scattering attention across various details, you choose one simple, direct, symbolically powerful image. A small sample of your desire already fulfilled. This small scene becomes a vibrational anchor, a code the universe understands effortlessly. The secret is in simplicity. The human mind responds better to short, repeatable, emotionally intense images. A 10-second scene can carry more true feeling than an entire movie imagined in a rush. It's like capturing a photograph of the future, that exact moment when life confirms the change has happened. The clearer, the stronger, the shorter, the more magnetic. Imagine, for example, someone who wants a new professional opportunity. Instead of imagining the entire process, just visualize the instant you receive the approval call or the handshake after "Welcome to the team." Just that. 10 seconds between the phone ringing, the smile, the relief in your chest, and certainty taking over. This small scene carries an ocean of emotions condensed into a single moment. Another example, someone who wants a healthy romantic relationship. Instead of building hours of imagined stories, just visualize the reunion hug, the look that confirms reciprocity, or the moment two hands meet. A micro scene that sums up everything: presence, affection, security. That's the power of emotional synthesis. A few seconds that say everything that matters. When the person finds that perfect scene, they discover that visualization stops being effort and becomes experience. It's as if something inside them recognizes that image as true. But to access this truth with depth and consistency, there's an essential step that's almost always ignored, and it determines whether the scene will just be imagined or actually felt. Before entering visualization, it's necessary to prepare the inner ground, and this is the step almost everyone ignores. Passive meditation works as a silent portal that calms the mind, relaxes the body, and turns off the emotional noise accumulated throughout the day. Without this adjustment, the person tries to visualize while carrying tensions, worries, or subtle pressures that distort the scene's energy. The mind might even see the image, but the body doesn't accept it. Passive meditation doesn't require complex techniques. Just a few minutes of conscious breathing, peaceful observation of your own body, or simply allowing thoughts to dissolve. It's like cleaning the lens before looking at the horizon. When the inner system slows down, something automatically reorganizes. Attention deepens, sensitivity increases, and the heart opens. This state is the fertile soil where visualization truly germinates. Without this preparation, visualization becomes a race against your own noise. The person tries to feel, but is tense, tries to imagine being there, but something inside insists on pulling them back here. Passive meditation aligns everything, calms the pulse, softens thoughts, organizes energy. It transforms the mind into a silent, receptive space, ready to receive the 10-second single scene with full force, like a seed planted in the right soil. This moment of stillness also has another powerful effect. It activates a deeper mental state, where imagination becomes more vivid and the body responds more naturally. What once seemed like fantasy starts to sound real. The person feels more, sees more, believes more. And when the body believes, visualization stops being a mental exercise and becomes a lived experience. It's this emotional experience that creates vibrational impact. With the mind silenced and the body receptive, the door finally opens to the practice that truly moves the gears of manifestation. Now, the single scene can be felt with clarity, repeated with purpose, and engraved in the inner field with depth. But for this to happen consistently, you need to master the complete method, the step-by-step that transforms 10 seconds into a daily creative force. The complete technique is simple, but deeply transformative. It begins with a few minutes of passive meditation, enough to slow down the mind and soften the body. This is the moment when the external world loses strength and the inner world gains space. When breathing stabilizes and silence settles in, the person enters the ideal state for visualizing, a state of vibrational receptivity and natural focus without effort. Then comes the choice of the single scene. This step is crucial. The person selects an instant that represents the achievement of the desire, not the path to it. A short scene, 10 seconds, capable of awakening immediate emotion. It's important that this image be simple enough to be repeated every day and charged enough to touch the body. It's not a movie, it's a moment. The moment where everything is already done. Next, active visualization begins. The person closes their eyes, enters the chosen scene, and sees everything in first person. Feels the environment, the touch, the sound, the breathing. The body reacts as if actually there. This is the key. Emotion appears gentle or intense, but always true. The visualization should be short, deep, and repeated a few times. Each repetition strengthens the vibrational signal sent to the field. After a few repetitions, something curious happens. The scene becomes clearer, easier, more natural. The body already knows the way. The mind already recognizes the image. Emotion arises with less effort. The scene becomes almost automatic. And it's exactly this automaticity that reprograms the inner field. Daily repetition transforms visualization into an anticipated emotional memory, as if it were already part of the person. To finish, the person takes a deep breath and releases the scene with gratitude. No demands, no anxiety, just the intimate sensation that something moved inside. And when this movement repeats day after day, reality begins to respond. But there's an even more accelerated way to use this technique. A simple strategy that weaves the entire day with small waves of intention. Throughout the day, the mind tends to escape into old thoughts, worn-out memories, and small worries that weaken the inner field. It's natural, but that's exactly why mini-scenes are so powerful. They work as small vibrational reminders, quick course corrections that put the person back in manifestation mode. In just a few seconds, energy shifts, breathing reorganizes, and intention reappears with more clarity. These mini-scenes don't require structure. They don't need absolute silence or perfect posture, just a conscious pause, one breath, and re-entering that short 10-second scene that represents the fulfilled desire. It's like pressing an internal button that resets the frequency. Each micro-visualization reinforces the same emotion, the same image, and the same magnetic field, as if reaffirming to the universe, "This is what I choose." And when done at strategic moments, like before a decision, during an emotional dip, or simply when the body asks for realignment, these mini-scenes have an immediate effect. They interrupt negative thoughts before they become dominant vibration. They transform tension into presence, doubt into clarity, anxiety into alignment. They're small, but profoundly effective. Over time, the person becomes more aware of their own inner flow. They start noticing when energy drops, when the mind scatters, or when old beliefs try to return. And in those instants, a mini-scene is able to restore the vibrational axis in seconds. It's not force, it's not effort, it's just the memory of a future that's already being felt now. Each repetition creates coherence, each coherence creates change. And when the entire day becomes a field of small realignments, the technique stops being an exercise and transforms into a way of living. The person starts walking with the vibration of the result, not with the vibration of absence, but to truly consolidate this journey, from the first visualization to the permanent state of creation. All that's left is to integrate everything into a bigger vision, which will be revealed in the video's introduction. Now that you know the power of the 10-second single scene, something important has already started happening inside you. Your perception has changed. Your energy has changed. And even if silently, your frequency has already begun to rise. Every time you apply this technique, you'll be re-educating your body, your mind, and your field to receive what once seemed distant. Transformation isn't in the future. It begins the instant you feel the new as true. Look inside now and notice which part of your life has already started moving just from watching this video. What emotion awakened? What 10-second scene will you choose to represent your new reality? Answering this in the comments isn't just engagement. It's declaring to the universe what you accept to live from now on. Write it, affirm it, allow it. And to honor your path, here's something extra. Whenever you feel your energy drop throughout the day, return to a mini scene. 10 seconds, one deep breath, and you'll be aligned with your destiny once again. Small realignments create big realities. If this video touched you, remember to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and watch the next video, because your expansion doesn't end here. It's only beginning. The universe always responds to your vibration, and right now, yours is rising.